Hello everyone, this is Professor Robert Solis, and we're going to be talking about this project that I had you do in class, where you're going to allow the user to enter a radius value. They're going to click a calculate button, and then based on that we will determine what the circumference and the area is, and we will display those values here in labels. And I've given you some clues as to how to determine what the area and the circumference is, and in fact I give you some Visual Basic hints as well. So let me switch over here to Visual Studio and click a new project, and we're going to make this a Visual Basic project. I've been noticing that some of you have been accidentally selecting Visual C#. Don't do that. Select Visual Basic, and then that's a Windows Form application. And over here, this is going to be CS111, and we'll say in-class project. Specifically, we'll talk about circle calculator. That's a pretty good name for it right there. Okay, I'm going to open up the toolbox, and I'm going to drag and drop a button and a label and a text box. So a button, label, and also a text box. It looks like this label has to appear in the upper left-hand corner, and according to the handout, let's see here, it looks like it's supposed to say enter a radius. Okay, so let me go back over here and say in the text property, enter a radius. Well, we're going to have to place a text box next to that so we can obtain that radius. I'll open it up to the edge of the window over here. And what else do we have? So it looks like we've got a button over here that says calculate. So I'll just take this button over here, make it something like this. We're supposed to type in the word calculate. And then I have two labels over here and two labels over here. So I'll just take this label over here, copy and paste it. It looks like circumference is probably going to be the larger word than area, so I will start off with that one. And we'll say circumference. Good. I'm going to place this over here. I'm looking for that blue line to indicate that it's appropriately placed on the left-hand side. And then I'm going to take this and copy and paste it. And I want this thing to be resizable, so I'm going to have to go to the auto size property and select false. I also want to select a border style that's fixed single, and then let me go ahead and resize this thing, so something like this. And let's see here, actually let me make sure that that magenta underline is placed at the same level as this, so that way I know that the labels are at the same level. Something like that looks good. Let me go to the text property, press delete. I'm going to select these two now, copy and paste, and I'll just move those like this, but this needs to be changed to area. Okay, maybe I should have the word area a little bit closer, something like that. Looks good. Let me reduce the size of the form. I'm going to get rid of the minimize and the maximize box, so I'll double click here, make those false. That's not supposed to say form 1, this is supposed to say circle calculator. So I'll go to the text property, circle calculator. Looks good. Alright, let's go ahead and give names to the various items. So the name for this text box will be txt radius. This will be btn calculate. This will be lbl circumference. And lbl area. All right, let's double click on the button so that we can start working on the code. The first thing I like to do is to create some comments that say declarations, get user, oops, sorry, that's supposed to be a single tick. I'm thinking C++ mode. A single quotation mark is how you create comments in Visual Basic. So get user input. We're going to perform a calculation. And then we're going to generate some sort of an output. In terms of the declarations, let me look back over here. It looks like I'm going to need to get the radius from the user. So I'll say dim radius. And I'm going to make this a double because the user could put in a number with a decimal point. If they weren't putting a number with a decimal point, that would be integer. Let's go back over here. It looks like I'm going to have to generate the circumference and also the area. So dim area and also circumference. Okay. Now I need to also create a variable for pi. I really should make this a constant, but I haven't really talked about constants yet, so let me just make this a double. I'll talk about constants later on. 3.14159 is what I think I said to set it equal to. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so it looks like I've got dim radius as double, dim pi as double, set that up. Alright, so our declarations are finished. Now let's go ahead and obtain the input from the user. So the radius is going to be that which was entered by the user. So I'm going to have to convert to a double because the user is entering this into a text box. So I need to get that text from the text box, convert it into a number, and then put it into a number, specifically into radius. Well, once I've done that, I'm ready for my calculation. So area is going to be pi r squared. So that's going to be pi times, and then r squared. So within parentheses, I'm going to say radius caret symbol squared. What this thing does is it says take radius and raise it to the second power. For the circumference, that's going to be 2 times pi times r. So 2 times pi times whatever the radius is. Now that I have those values, I can display them on these labels. So I will go to the output section, lbl area.text. I'm going to convert this to a string, whatever the value of area is. The reason why I'm doing that is because area is a double. In fact, if I hover on top of it, you see the word double appears here. So I don't want to put a double into a text. I convert that to a string so that a string is put into a string. That's really what text is. It's a string property. All right, lbl circumference.text. Then we convert dot to string, whatever the value of circumference is. All right, let me run the program, and I'll put in the number 2. And it just happens to be that 2 has the same circumference and area of 12.566. That is correct. And I think that's it. So this is Professor Robert Solis. I hope this video lesson was helpful. You guys have a good day. See you next time.